Want to feel the horror? Join our channel for more.
My name is Laurel, and I lead a quiet life crafting handmade dolls. I've always found solace in the delicate art of stitching and creating these beautiful companions for people. Each doll I make carries a piece of my heart, and I pour my love and care into every stitch. Little did I know that my simple life would take a dark turn into the realm of the unknown. It all began on an ordinary day, much like any other. I was sitting in my cozy little studio, my fingers dancing with a needle and thread, as I worked on a charming little doll. The room was bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, and the gentle hum of my sewing machine was my only company. That's when the phone call came, shattering the tranquility of my world. I picked up the receiver, a sense of unease washing over me as I heard the distorted voice on the other end. It was as if the caller was deliberately disguising their identity. They wasted no time and made an unusual request that sent a shiver down my spine. I need 1,000 handmade stitch dolls, and I need them in 5 days. My heart raced at the impossibility of such a demand. 5 days for 1,000 dolls. It was madness. I hesitated, my voice trembling as I replied, "I'm sorry, but that's impossible. I can't possibly make that many dolls in such a short time." But the caller was relentless. They offered me a sum that was 10 times my usual price, tempting me with a financial reward that was hard to resist. As a struggling artist, the thought of the money was tempting, but something about the whole situation seemed off. To add to my apprehension, the caller transferred 80 of the payment to my account as a gesture of good faith. I found myself trapped in a corner with no other choice but to accept the daunting task. The caller also made an eerie request. They wanted to install a camera in my studio to monitor my progress, and while making the dolls, I had to chant specific incantations that they would provide. I agreed. My curiosity piqued, and I began working on the dolls while reciting the strange chants, all the while under the watchful eye of the camera. Days turned into nights, and I toiled tirelessly to complete the order. I hardly slept, surviving on coffee and sheer determination. It was an eerie experience, working under the constant gaze of that camera, with the strange incantations filling the room. But I had come too far to back out now. Finally, as the 5th day approached, I miraculously finished crafting all 1,000 dolls. Just as I was beginning to feel a sense of relief, there was a knock on my door. My heart pounded as I opened it to find a group of masked men standing on my doorstep. Without a word, they took the parcel of dolls from me and handed over the remaining 20 of the payment. Then, they disappeared into the night. I stood there, my emotions in turmoil. Relief washed over me, but so did a lingering sense of unease. What could these dolls possibly be for? And what was the purpose of those strange incantations? My doubts gnawed at me as I began to clean up my studio. That's when I found it. A single doll had been left behind, forgotten in the rush to complete the order. I held it in my hands, examining it closely. It was no different from the others, yet it felt different somehow, as if it held a secret. As I pondered what to do with the forgotten doll, my doorbell rang once again. I opened it, and to my dismay, I found my loathsome landlord standing there, a wicked grin on his lips. He had always been a lecherous man, constantly making inappropriate advances whenever he came to collect the rent. With all the chaos of the recent orders, I had momentarily forgotten about him. He approached me, his intentions clear. Disgusted and angry, I shouted his name and, in my frustration, threw the forgotten doll against the wall. To my shock, the doll hit the wall, and with a thug, it fell down to the ground, and at the same instant, my landlord was propelled backward with a force I couldn't comprehend. He crashed into the wall, senseless and unmoving. I stared in disbelief, my mind racing to make sense of what had just happened. Could it be that the doll had caused this? Had I unintentionally created some sort of voodoo doll? A slow, creepy smile spread across my face as the pieces of the puzzle fell into place. I remembered the incantations I had chanted while making those dolls. It seemed I had stumbled upon a newfound power, a power that could give me control over others. With a sinister grin, I picked up the remaining doll and, without hesitation, removed his head. I watched in morbid fascination as my landlord's head detached from his body, just as the doll's head had. The room was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by my own steady breaths. I realized that I held a greater power in my hands, one that I could use to protect myself and perhaps even reshape my life. With the knowledge of the incantations still fresh in my mind, I understood that I could create as many voodoo dolls as I desired, each tied to a specific person. As I gazed at the lifeless form of my landlord, I knew that I had the means to take control of my destiny. The world was now a different place for me, one where I held the strings, quite literally, to shape my own fate. With a chilling smile, I set to work, my hands deftly crafting more dolls, each one a potential instrument of power and revenge. The world was about to witness the rise of a new force, one that had been born from the most unexpected of circumstances. And so, as I continued to stitch and chant, I couldn't help but wonder just how far my newfound abilities would take me. The possibilities were endless, and I was ready to embrace the darkness that had unexpectedly entered my life.